in this league, you're going to have a game or two where you're not yourself. And it's such a tough league, tough places to play every night.
Glenn steps into an early three and knocks it down. It took almost no time for Jalen Glenn to drop one in for Kansas State.
Well, you talked about how K-State takes efficient threes, and Glenn and Tamira Poindexter in particular are tremendous shooters.
C called for the turnover. Had a player over in the corner. That was Gray, but kind of got caught in between.
So without Aoka Lee, the great center for Kansas State, what that has allowed K-State to do the last 4 or 5 ball games, they're picking up the pressure defensively. They've really been turning teams over. They forced 58 turnovers the last 3 games. So Oklahoma State, you already turned it over there. They're going to have to be in ball security mode here this afternoon.
Walker too strong that time. Here come the Cowgirls in transition. This was one thing that concerned Jeff Mittie, the head coach for Kansas State. Is Oklahoma State getting out in space? Three-pointer too strong. Taken in by Kansas State. Poindexter, the Tulsa native, off the mark, rebounded by Gray. Cowgirls running again.
K-State defensively, obviously going to want to match up with Oklahoma State in transition, but they're going to meet Oklahoma State outside that three-point line and really try to keep everything in front.
Gray lets it fly, buries it with a hand in the face.
Yeah, that's huge for Oklahoma State. Gray has the potential to really fill it up from long range, but she's 2 of 12 from distance. The last 2, that's a good sign for J.C. Hoyt.
Yeah, seeing a couple go in early, I would imagine makes a big difference, especially coming off of a 34-point performance. Poindexter from the elbow kicks it out. Inside now Taylor. Dribble drive. Offensive rebound. No good on the putback, but free throws coming up for the Wildcats. Jeff Mittie in his 33rd year as a head coach, his 11th season at Kansas State. And really good conversation with him before the game. He's been around the block in this game.
Yeah, obviously so much experience and wisdom, won everywhere he's been. And if you follow him at all, I mean, he can really coach. Obviously, Kansas State is talented. But case in point, you know, unfortunately for Lady Wildcats, they've had to do it quite a bit the last couple years. Play without Aoka Lee, but they still win. And they still win at a high level. And this team is good enough to go to a Final Four if things fall right in March.
And not a lot of teams that can lose a player like Aoka Lee and then still be 22-2 at this point of the year. On the other side, J.C. Hoyt starting off her head coaching career still just in her 8th year, which is still a while, but she also has coached with Coach Mittie, so there's a lot of connections between these two staffs.
Yeah, a true friendship, but when that ball goes up today, that all goes out the window.
I'm not quite sure how Staley Hurd got that basket to fall, but she did.
Well, you alluded to it a couple possessions ago. Jeff Mittie concerned about Hurd's ability to get downhill. It's not just in the half court, but in transition. Hits the seam right here. Always keeps her eyes up. Boom, wants her split it right there. That's that athleticism we talked about with Hurd. And then ensuing play on this other end, I'll see fouling Walker right there on the jump shot.
Left it short. Kansas State is not a team, Brendan, that gets to the line a ton. 284th in the country in free throw attempts, but they're getting there early today.
And we see K-State continuing to pick up in full court pressure when the opportunity is there.
Cowgirls able to break the pressure this time. Alexia Smith with it. She's been playing really strong basketball in conference play.
Now, Jeff Mittie had a lot of great things to say about her, and that's one of the reasons. Smith is tremendous defensively, and at her size, she's a terrific rebounding guard. But in a lot of ways, along with Hurd, gives Oklahoma State their toughness, particularly on the defensive end.
Smith guarding Sundell will be that way most of the afternoon. Ball deflected away. 5 seconds to shoot. Walker on the drive, couldn't finish. The rebound was loose and now scooped up by Gray. In transition with the finish. To the corner, Walker off the mark, and then Hurd steals the rebound away from Sundell. Gray had already hit one of those side steps, thought better of it that time.
Yeah, and a great job of Poindexter not biting on that ball fake right there.
Ball on the deck, picked up by Kansas State. Some physical play throughout that possession. Sundell in transition, too strong. Rebounded by Gray. Long run of play here as several players are waiting to check in. Gray driving, flings it off the glass and in. That barely got over the rim.
I think Gray was anticipating contact right there. It never came, but made a nice adjustment.
That's too strong, and Hurd fights for another rebound. There's some tired players on the floor right now. Aussie, though, pushing the pace.
Well, a quicker pace, although K-State can play it, probably favors Oklahoma State slightly here at home.
Aussie catch and shoot. Timeout, Kansas.
That's an obvious one. K-State as a team shoots at 40% from three. That's huge here today. And then handle and attack to pressure. We've seen K-State do more of that as of late. They've done it here early in this game, and Oklahoma State so far, for the most part, has made the most out of those opportunities in getting the numbers.
And there's a turnover from Kansas State. 5 minutes in, the Wildcats have one field goal made. They shoot better than 50% as a team on the season. Gray looking for the screen. Spins away from the defense. Hurd catch and shoot for the corner.
Now you see the quick release by Hurd, and she's so difficult because she can do that and maybe even better at taking you off the bounce.
Poindexter responds, the Tulsa native, and the transfer from the University of Tulsa.
You know, Poindexter has fit seamlessly into this K-State ball club. She has been terrific all season long, leads the team in scoring during Big 12 play, uses that length to rise over the top and knock down those threes.
Feels like a big response shot from Kansas State. Cowgirls were on a 12-0 run. There's some contact. Gray draws the foul.
Yeah, former high school teammates right here. You think they won some games? They did. There's Hurd, and then her elder teammate back in the day by 2 years, Tamira Poindexter. To see that quick release. And Poindexter, Adam, is 6'2", and has that soft touch. 49% from three in league play.
She was freshman of the year in the American Athletic Conference at Tulsa back in 22. Honorable mention All-American last season. Heward to the corner. And another three buried by her.
So that's the thing, Jeff Mitty, I bet, may make an adjustment. In the half court, you have to be careful doubling. Oklahoma State moves it well, and there'll be multiple shooters, sometimes three, sometimes four, that can make open shots.
And an offensive foul on Kansas State.
See the double out front, and that's dangerous. So Heward brings Sundell up to her and able to make that extra pass, and you have Hurd in the corner who's already shooting it well here today. I think K-State's got to be careful in the half court. May see them be more solid and just try to keep everything in front moving forward.
Wooten called for a travel. Third turnover of the game for Oklahoma State, but the Cowgirls have assisted 4 times and are 8 of 9 from the field to this point.
Well, both these coaches really preach ball movement, and there's no wasted dribbling. The ball doesn't stick.
Speaking of which, that came out of the hand in a hurry. Igarebba gets the rebound for the Cowgirls. I see catch and shoot. That's good. And a second Kansas State timeout here in the first 7 minutes alone.
When, she's best off the ball, and case in point with that last three-point make. But she played point guard out of position last year and did a terrific job, averaging almost 5 assists a game and played with toughness. You knew that she was going to come out of it at some point, and so far it looks like that is today.
Inside to Poindexter, and a travel gives it back to Oklahoma State. Now, the challenge for the Cowgirls is going to be to keep the foot on the gas, because this is a Kansas State team that is incredibly capable of scoring in bunches. Deflected out of bounds off of Kansas State.
Yeah, and as well as Oklahoma State shoots it traditionally, and even so far here today, at some point, some of those are not going to fall. And then how do you handle that with the type of maturity against one of the best teams in the country?
This is the pressure, handling the pressure that you talked about. Hurd trying to go coast to coast. And a foul on Igoreva for Oklahoma State.
Hurd doesn't get that to go down, but you see the strength right there. She handles the ball with such surety, especially down that right side. Once she gets an angle, I mean, she just can go and continue to go by you. You have to rotate over and help and get it out of her hands.
There's not many players capable of putting a defender that was really in front of her when she got the ball. She had her on her hip by the time she got to the rim.
Yeah.
Just a phenomenal athlete. Lester from the mid-range. Strong. Pitched ahead to Heward. Off the mark. And Igoreva and Smith came together for it. You see all the hands flying at Heward when she caught that ball?
Well, Jeff Mitty mentioned Heward to you and I today, and he was talking about other capable players outside of a Hurd, or Asi, a Gray going off. And Heward has had 7 games this season where she scored in double figures off the bench. Certainly capable to get going.
Her dad, Brock, who's a college football broadcaster, in the building today as well. Hurd with the kick out. Asi looking for a third. Got it! The track meet continues. Smith back out to Hurd for another. That's an air ball strong and deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with Oklahoma State.
Staley Hurd. This is why she's first team all Big 12, and she continues to grow, has a chance to be an All-American. She had the lane to the basket to lay it in, but understood Asi was there, and that Asi is shooting it great. Traded a 2 for 3.
Kansas State has still made just 2 field goals. The Cowgirls are on a 21-3 run over the last 6 minutes. Cowgirls get it off of the foul. They'll keep possession. A bucket here would give Oklahoma State its second double-digit scoring run of this first quarter. Smith kind of had it stripped. Gray steps into it. Good. Maupin has the shot blocked by Magassa. Underneath Magassa. Pump fake. Maupin kicks to the corner. Sanchez left it short. Magassa able to pitch it away to Smith. Cowgirls do not have numbers for the first time in a while.
Yeah, and a chance to close out the half right here with the last possession. Oklahoma State has absolutely put on a clinic on the offensive end.
Hurd straight away with 6 to shoot. C. Pump fake, lets it fly. That one's too strong, but the Cowgirls, having scored 37 in their last game, put up 31 in the first quarter here at home.
Well, Staley Hurd, we've talked about that, is Oklahoma State being able to get out in transition. Players like Staley Hurd, as a big guard, can clear the glass and lead a break. And a lot of that, her leading the break in transition offense, has happened here so far this afternoon.
Coach Mitty employing the zone to start the second quarter. Three-pointer off the mark. Feels like Kansas State really hasn't settled in offensively. Hit that first 3 and then really struggled the rest of the quarter. Just 1 for 13 after that in the first. Sundell, well guarded. Fall away, off the mark, but an offensive rebound. Too strong for the wing. Asi gets the board this time. Only 3 offensive rebounds so far for Kansas State. They're only getting about 18% of their misses right now.
Yeah, what this zone will do for the Wildcats is it should be able to keep in front, but you have to be there to catch. I mean, it's understandable why Jeff Mitty is doing that, trying to slow Oklahoma State down the half court. But you cannot give them any space. Nice play right there.
Beautiful find to the cutting Maupin for an easy look.
We talked about the depth of both these teams. I mean, Maupin certainly gives K-State that. Somebody you can rely on, terrific on the glass, good activity at both ends.
An air ball, but Magassa there for the rebound. And then Hurd rattles it. It's hard to say not to shoot over the zone if they keep going in.
Well, you have to be there on the catch. And what Oklahoma State did right there, you just get a little help and force a little help. And now the defense is trying to catch up. And again, the intellect of Hurd, you see her use the ball fake on that reversal.
Five to shoot, poke free, stolen away. Gray to the rim, off the mark, but a foul.
And we talked about it. Here's Asi here. I mean, there's no movement. And sides, you have to be there on the catch. Way too much space. See the ball fake right there. Forces Sundell to retreat towards Gray in the corner. And that's the danger with Oklahoma State when they're able to get ball movement, force any kind of help, because you have all these great shooters and the willingness on the offensive end of their entire team to move it, make the extra pass.
With Micah Gray's free throw, the Cowgirls have exceeded their point total from last week at West Virginia at the 7:40 mark of the second quarter. Brendan, we were talking about this. It had kind of been Staley Hurd carrying the load scoring-wise in the last few games of Big 12 play. Gray, Asi, and Hurd are all already in double figures. Wing 3 off the mark. It's out of bounds. And they'll say it's Oklahoma State ball. This is a Kansas State team that is third in the country in three-point shooting at nearly 40% as a team. They're 2 for 9 so far in this game. There's an offensive foul. Gray called for the personal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of game left, first of all. But it's impressive what Oklahoma State has done. And you can tell with the countenance of K-State, they're a little bit hesitant and now pressing. They just need a little mini run of some kind of success to regain that swagger back.
Off the hands of Maupin and out of bounds. Cowgirls get it back on the turnover. And, you know, talking to Coach Hoyt before this game, she was happy with how her team continued to fight, even though they were down most of that game at West Virginia last week. Kind of the chance to do the opposite here. You've got a big lead. Can you continue to keep that energy up? Not get complacent.
And that's kind of been who they have been all year long. I mean, you look at even they got down what, 20 some odd at Houston and had a 3 at the buzzer to tie it. The TCU game, the game flipped. TCU was in control, and they were down there. So they don't let it affect them at any point.
Offensive rebound off the miss. Gray steps into it. Sundell gets the board, then Heward commits the foul. If it's any indication, though, of how this game is going, when Heward shot that 3 from the corner, Gray was already walking back up the floor with their hand in the air, figuring it was going to go in. Lynn passed up on the open look, too strong on the layup. Extra pass to the corner, another open 3, that one's good. Gray's got 15 already.
Yeah, again, you have to get matched up in transition from Oklahoma State. That really was not even an aggressive push right there.
Flipped ahead to Hurd off the miss. Oh, that was called a travel. There's a little bit of a jersey tug in there.
Yeah, Poindexter does a nice job not letting her turn the corner, but watch right here, grabbing at the jersey right in front of the official, but obviously he missed that.
1-1 over on the former teammate there. I'm confident that'll be a text exchange later. Hey, I got you on that one. Into the post, right hook, no. Hurd secures the rebound, and then a foul on Moffitt.
You know, we talked so much, Adam, prior to tip, and obviously through the first quarter and a half here this afternoon about Oklahoma State offensively. But something that I think you and I saw earlier in the year, the potential defensively for this to be J.C. Hoyt's best group there. When you look at the game in Morgantown, which is a tough place to play, they have terrific guards. They held West Virginia to 54 on the road. And it's just one of those offensive nights. So they are much improved defensively.
How about the effort play from Heward? And that kind of play is exactly what Coach Moffitt wanted to avoid.
Yeah, and Heward is so active. When you watch her in her minutes, she is terrific on the boards.
Sides able to finish that one. Jeff Mittie had, I mean, that was exactly the kind of play that he was talking about earlier. Finally a chance for Kansas State to set up off of a make. That was a tough pass to try to thread the needle, turned over. And a pretty good effort play to try to save that one back in. But Sanchez couldn't keep the foot in the air, and we'll head to the under 5 here in the second quarter. The Cowgirls.
It's been a combination of Oklahoma State playing at as high a level as they have all season long, which is saying a lot. They've had a lot of good moments, and K-State came out flat. And they just have not been able to reverse the trend. Oklahoma State has taken advantage of great ball movement, getting numbers, and getting good looks. Here's another.
Buries another triple. She's got 5 threes already.
And Oklahoma State has really good pieces. And this is Wooten, the freshman, who is tremendous. Almost can get to the paint at will. Watch it right here. Little ball movement side to side. You get the defense to shift. Look at that. Boom, part of the defense. Plays off 2 feet. And when she passes it, it's crisp, and it's typically on the money and rim.
Walker with the pump fake. She's 0 for 2. Sides able to fill one up with a hand in the face.
Well, Sides, along with Walker, this goes back to Jeff Mittie's coaching. They have made that really good jump from freshman to sophomore year as players.
Igorevba can't finish. A really good look created by Heward. Ahead to Sides for Kansas State. Chance to actually make a little bit of a run here, but now a turnover. Smith and Magassa in, Heward and Igorevba out.
You know, sometimes, Adam, you see it all across college basketball. Sometimes matchups can be more favorable for certain teams than others. And to me, Oklahoma State's perimeter is so much more athletic. And I think that has been, you know, outside of them knocking down shots, that has caused K-State problems at both ends. You have Wooten out there, Hurd, those are elite athletes. Smith, extremely athletic.
Turnover, gives it back to Kansas State. Walker in transition. Gets it to go. And then Wooten called for the carry, trying to weave through traffic.
Yeah, and after that last turnover by Wooten, J.C. Hoyt went immediately to Grave to get her in. And that's the thing with Wooten. She's going to be great. But it's consistency in taking care of. So if you look at Wooten against Arizona State here, 7 assists, no turnovers, and then at West Virginia, no assists, 4 turnovers. That at some point is going to level out, and I think you'll see her make a tremendous jump, especially into next year. And she'll be one of the best point guards in the league, but she's still just a freshman.
Sanchez can't hit the turnaround. You were mentioning the athleticism of the Oklahoma State guards. Do you feel like their physicality is affecting Kansas State?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point. To take it a step further, is they're also physical. Smith's physical. Wooten, even though she's a freshman, physically ready-made for this level. And there's not anybody more physical on the perimeter than Staley Hurd. Anyway, one of those, that's Sapulpa, one of those with those two young ladies. I think, though, you and I, maybe we win state championship, but you and I could win some games with those two. But
my strategy would be to just let them go.
Yeah, well, that would be good coaching.
Yeah.
But they're great players, but terrific young ladies. And that's what Darlene Caleb and I talked about today. And she's so proud of it. And they come from great stock. We've talked about it with Staley Hurd multiple times, both their parents, high-level college players. Tamira Poindexter's dad, Ray Poindexter, was a great player at Tulsa in the late 90s, played on a couple NCAA tournament teams, so they come from good lineage as well.
And again, Poindexter, an honorable mention All-American from the WBCA last year, the American Athletic Conference Player of the Year, unanimous first-team selection. That was her second naming to a first-team all-conference team, so she's been an incredibly impactful player in her college career, as Staley Hurd has shown that she can be the same. Poindexter gets the deflection there, but Magassa came up with it and drew the foul.
Yeah, the challenge, I think, for Jeff Mittie, when you get this deep hole, you go to the zone, which makes sense, but if you double and gamble out of it, Oklahoma State makes you pay. If you don't try to speed Oklahoma State in the half court with this big deficit, they can, like in that possession, that was not great offense by Oklahoma State, but they chewed up a lot of time. The game is slower. And again, I think it goes back to the guard play and the athleticism and ability out on the perimeter for Oklahoma State.
A 1-for-2 trip for Magassa. She'll check out in favor of Heward.
And, you know, on the road, I said it earlier, if this is a fast-paced game, which it has become, it would more than likely favor Oklahoma State.
Up the baseline. Poindexter fires. Off the mark, Heward with the rebound. Glenn picks up the foul that time, her second personal. Alexia Smith going to the line now for Oklahoma State. Coming off of 15 points against West Virginia, 10 the game before that against Arizona State. She's really kind of coming into her own on the offensive end right now.
Yeah, but to me, she always plays solid. And good teams always have pieces that kind of quietly go about their work. And that's Smith. I mean, she's a really important part of their success this season.
Sides had to kind of save it inbounds there. Now she'll let it fly. No good. Cowgirls might have gotten away with one there. She's got a quick trigger. Asi in transition. Smith underneath. Heward with the offensive rebound, flings it out. Asi for three. Good. That's 6.
That is exactly what Coach Mitty talked to you and I about. Specifically, second chance opportunities. Heward runs it down in a hustle effort, kicks it out to Asi in that broken floor.
A whistle. And a foul on Oklahoma State. Micah Gray picks up her second personal. Without barring a bucket here, Oklahoma State has a chance to hold Kansas State under 33% in each of the first 2 quarters. And that will be the case as it rattles in and out. Oklahoma State puts up 51 in the first half on a top 10 team, but maybe more impressive, holds Kansas State to just 20.
A lot of basketball left for Oklahoma State against a very good team. And that's going to take a lot, but I mean, it can happen. K-State's first and foremost, this end of the floor, they have to string series of stops right out of the gate here in this third quarter.
Oklahoma State has mostly gotten what it has wanted offensively, but a turnover starts the second half for the Cowgirls. And now another turnover for Kansas State. Sundell, I think, thought a teammate was going to make a cut that didn't. Serena Sundell averages more than 7 assists per game. Kansas State leads the country in assists per game as a team, but Sundell today just 2 assists and 1 turnover.
And coming off she's had a lot of great performances, but terrific performance against TCU in the midweek win. So both teams a little flat right here, at least so far in these couple of initial possessions.
Wide open look for Poindexter. It spins out. And now a foul on the hustle play as Alibren Asi won the race. Kind of just feels like it's been that kind of day for Kansas State.
Yeah, it has. And it's in and out. Several looks, as well as Oklahoma State played defensively. K-State uncharacteristically missed a lot of shots they've been hitting all season long. It's kind of been one of those afternoons.
Nagasa skips it out. Too strong from Gray, and Blaine wants to run. Back out to Walker. Off the mark. That's her 3rd attempt. The Cowgirls okay with her shooting at less than 30% from 3. And Sundell takes this one away. Cowgirls struggling offensively. And Sundell finishes in transition.
Yeah, nice job of Sundell attacking right there. 3 turnovers already for Oklahoma State. There's 4 almost.
Sundell making the winning plays right now.
So here is how, and this is a good timeout. J.C. Hoyt get one right here. Good finish there, right there from Sundell. Plus 10-point advantage per third quarter.
Hurd couldn't get it to go. Smith knocks it loose. It's a wrestling match for it. And Smith is called for the foul.
And obviously they're gonna need a lot of things to happen their way in the third quarter. And Oklahoma State's tried to help them here early on. And you mentioned off air that at this point K-State only has 2 points to show for it with all the turnovers from Oklahoma State. The only way Oklahoma State gets beat is that they quit defending and they turn it over. They really don't have to score a ton more. I mean, you have to just play solid defensively, and you have to have ball security.
Sundell in traffic, couldn't finish. And even on that play, not a lot of ball movement there for Kansas State. Smith from the mid-range. No. Asi able to stay in front of Glenn there. Open look from the corner. Good. Sundell did not score in the first half. Already 5 here in the third quarter.
Yeah, good job with Glenn keeping that alive, keeping a dribble alive, allowing Sundell to flow to the corner.
Jump ball. Possession arrow favors Oklahoma State, so they'll stay with the Cowgirls.
And there's that last basket for the Wildcats. See right there. All right, let's reset. Oklahoma State doesn't get matched up. Sundell able to knock down that wide open shot.
Maupin checks in for Taylor. Wooten will inbound for Oklahoma State. Dangerous pass. Knocked free and a foul against Sundell. Knocked the glasses off of Staley Hurt. Surprised that doesn't happen more. I don't know that I've seen him get knocked off over the course of the year. Hurt, for those that don't know, blind in one eye. It's hard to tell the way she shoots the basketball.
Yeah, and knowing that provides additional context of how great she is.
Call for a travel there was heard. The fans voicing their displeasure with the call.
Yeah, tough to tell. It was a quick play. But K-State was prepared for that set right there and had rotated over. No one heard he was going to try to get downhill.
There's a bucket in the mid-range for Glenn, and it's a 7-0 run to start the quarter for Kansas State.
And here's the other thing. It's in K-State's DNA to pick up and pressure and take chances. They've been doing more of that since Lee's been out. So it's not like this is something new just to try to put in.
Hurd can't get it to go. Kansas State with the rebound. Long pass up the floor. A foul and a bucket. And Kansas State on a run here in the third.
Now K-State starting to take advantage of the miscues they're causing Oklahoma State to have. Great job of size right there, eyes up, and there's Sundell right in the middle of it again. This game's gonna get interesting. Serena Sundell will have to be right in the middle of it.
Free throw makes it a 10-0 run for Kansas State. The Cowgirls are yet to score here in the third quarter.
And what's that, 4 turnovers already for the Cowgirls?
See, able to break the pressure. Fans still on their feet. They won't sit down until there's a bucket.
Okay, so just kind of a bigger perspective here. Somehow K-State can close out this half. There's Asi. But Adam, if they can get it around 15-16, it becomes a little bit manageable.
Sides to respond, can't hit it. And then a turnover as Heward had it too far out in front of Asi. That's 5 in the quarter for Oklahoma State.
Well, you can definitely potentially have more success with Hurd being out of the game. When you pressure Oklahoma State, you take away a strong physical ball handler.
Sundell goes away from the screen and a foul on Gray. It's her third. Something to keep an eye on.
I like it right there. Sundell took advantage of the physical pressure from Gray. Just a strong rip, drive towards the baseline.
Gray will come out for now. Smith in. Maupin shuffled the feet after the catch. Looking a little sloppy from both teams here in the third quarter. Kansas State has been able to take a little more advantage of that.
And because of the nature of the game, K-State still being down 24, I mean, it will have to turn into that type of game in the second half. That certainly will help them if it's erratic. Certainly if Oklahoma State is erratic themselves.
Cowgirls content to run some clock here. Down to 10 to shoot. Wooten got to the free throw line. It's 3 on Sundell now.
And literally one of the greats in college basketball history. We talk about her performance on the floor, 2,000-point score. One of 3 players in the Big 12 ever to have 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 300+ blocks. And the other 2, Brittany Griner and Courtney Paris. And so that's the company on the floor. But if you know anything about her, tremendous young lady, and what, you know, hopefully she gets healthy, and if she wants to have some kind of professional career, she can do that, because she certainly, when healthy, that level of a talent. But understand she is very entrepreneurial, extremely intelligent, and has a great future in life ahead of her. You really feel for her because she's such a class young lady and a tremendous player, though, dealing with all these injuries. And she wasn't, you know, this year when you watched her, she wasn't the same, even, you know, prior to January 19th.
Yeah, averaging a little less than 20 minutes a game when she was able to be on the floor. And it's a bummer because she is sure fun to watch play basketball. Three-pointer off the mark. Agareva tracks it down for Oklahoma State. Seeing a little more energy out of the Cowgirls here after a rough start to the half. Heward is fouled. They get Poindexter with that one.
Well, Heward knows one speed, and that is just tenacity. Doesn't take a possession off at either end of the floor. And what you like about her, remember, she's still young, transferred from Montana, just a sophomore, is that when she's not making shots, it doesn't affect how hard she plays. In fact, it probably ratchets it up a notch on the glass, defensively exceptional.
Offensive rebound, another miss on the floor. Ty Ball will keep it with Kansas State. And as you were mentioning on Heward, we've seen a couple times tonight her miss a three-point look and then come soaring in fighting for the rebound. It's nonstop with her, although now she'll have to take a break at least for a moment because she's heading to the bench for now.
Well, we've talked about it with K-State. Oklahoma State similarly. They both have depth, and you're not top 25, top 10 team, whatever, if you don't have key pieces on that bench.
Sundell was online, but left it a little short. Assi knocks down another. That one off the dribble.
Boy, and there's Hurd right there. Hurd again.
All of a sudden, it's an 11-0 run for Oklahoma State. Staley Hurd was smiling before she caught that last pass. Poindexter called for the travel while being guarded by her high school teammate. The Cowgirls have re-extended the lead to 34 in a flash.
Well, Assi been struggling as of late. We've documented that. Not today. There's the three. Here's Hurd. 34-point game. Still playing tough. Another steal, a tap back, and a lay-in right here. And Staley Hurd loves it, as well as the crowd here in Gallagher, Iowa today.
And a good crowd it is for some Saturday matinee women's college basketball, a top 25 matchup. The Cowgirls with a chance to take down their second top 10 team at home this season. Underneath, Smith comes out of nowhere. 4 seconds to shoot. Underneath Mikasa, easy bucket. Sundell is fouled, and she'll go to the line, but that last offensive possession had J.C. Hoyt fired.
And this is obviously important. We talk about K-State's got to take chances. So you're going to get opportunities when the ball moves, but that shows you Oklahoma State. I see could have pulled the trigger again, especially being 8 of 9 from three-point range today. With this Oklahoma State Cowgirl team, they just make the right play. They don't care who scores. It all evens out if you do the right things, and they've done that. I mean, really all season long, and today it's just clicked perfectly.
Second free throw short. Gray with the box out, but a turnover. Ooh. A little dangerous. Open look for 3. Too strong. Hurd comes in, and look at the Cowgirls push the pace. Hurd draws the foul on Glenn in transition. That's our 3rd.
That's the luxury again with Staley Hurd right there. 9 rebounds today, most of those on the defensive end. She pursues the ball so great, and then Adam, when she gets it, her teammates are already filling lanes. You don't need an outlet. She's just going to bring it with her because of her skill set, her versatility, which includes being able to decision make downhill in transition.
By the way, Annegret Aussie had made 7 threes in the game multiple times in her career. She has set a new career high with 8 3-point makes today. Hurd misses the first free throw.
Well, it's good to see her have some shots go down. You know, sometimes we can be our own worst critic.
Cowgirls have picked up the defensive intensity too after waning a little bit early in the 3rd. That's short, rebounded by Oklahoma State again.
Yeah, it's gone back, Adam, to being sound and solid, keeping everything in front. And that was a good defensive possession right there. That's what we saw a lot in the first half.
Magassa called for steps. Keep in mind, Kansas State started this quarter on a 10-0 run. It's 16-1 in favor of Oklahoma State since then.
Now, I'd go back to that early timeout by Coach Hoyt, even though she has the big lead. A lot of coaches would have sat on that, but I think she wisely got her team reset. And that's what good coaches do. They understand the pulse of their ball club.
Hurd through contact, no. Magassa, and off the glass.
Another good piece for Oklahoma State is Magassa. You know, rim protection, you get the defensive rebounding. That's where she makes her biggest impact. But she makes just enough plays now, probably more than any time in her career, where she scores in the paint. And they haven't done it a lot today because they haven't needed to. But they'll get her touches and committed to reminding defenses that we do have somebody we can throw it into to keep you honest.
We talked earlier in the quarter about Oklahoma State turning the ball over a bunch in the first few minutes. 4 turnovers for Kansas State in the last 5:20, make it 5. And Oklahoma State on an 18-1 run in the last 5 minutes. Going to slow it down here. Magassa kicks again. Gray for 3. No. And Gray knocks it free. It'll stay with Kansas State. but able to break up the fast break at least.
Now, another area Magassa has improved on throughout this season is catching in traffic inside. Now, she's turned it over a couple of times today, but did a nice job right there. When you get the touch inside her, we're just talking about it. You draw the attention of the defense, and she immediately looked to the weak side to a wide open Gray.
Walker called for the, or rather, Walker draws the foul on Smith. Smith's second personal. Walker back to the line. First free throw falls. 12 points in this quarter, the most in a quarter for Kansas State today, but the Cowgirl defense has been pretty consistent throughout. Just got one. 2 seconds to shoot. Smith in a lot of traffic, a whistle. And a foul will send Smith to the line.
Great awareness right there by Asi. Now, Asi has hit shots from half court as time has expired in quarters before. But she looks up. She knows there's about 4.5 seconds left to give Smith a little deeper look. And to me, right there, that's another example of the quickness and physicality on the perimeter of Oklahoma State. I mean, she catches, blows right by K-State. And while they're trying to catch up, they run into the back of her. And opportunity for more points.
A little chance for Smith to catch her breath before she goes to the line, too, because the officials are taking a look to see how much time is remaining on the clock. I think there's about a second left. They'll put a little time back on. But at the moment, it's an 18-2 run. 1.1 going back up.
It's pretty good, Adam, right there. You're right on the money. You said 1 second. Yeah, right there. There's the bump.
Cowgirls, really both teams in the bonus. So it is 2 free throws. No sweat on the first. The heave will come up short. And after Kansas State, Brendan, much?
I think it does a little bit. I mean, I think this team understands who they are, but you know, teams can go in a funk offensively and have a 2 or 3 game stretch. So, I mean, I think it helps them mentally in some ways, but I think just in terms of tonight in their performance, you know, long term it wasn't a big deal, West Virginia, but getting off to a good start against a terrific opponent was important.
In and out, rebounded by Alexia Smith. Kansas State had that spurt to begin the third quarter, but we mentioned it at that time, missed a couple of opportunities to maybe close the gap a little further, and then Oklahoma State just responded.
Yeah, and even if they had, I mean, the hole was so deep. I mean, it is so difficult against good teams to come back from that distance. Because even if you are able to make some kind of run, nice play right there. Great pass by Sundell. You exert so much effort, physically and mentally, to get back into it. It's just a difficult task.
We mentioned Asi. She's had some help tonight too. Gray and Herder combined 64% from behind the arc right now as Magassa gets another look underneath. The other end, a foul goes against Magassa. Just her first. That's one thing she's improved at over the course of the season, is staying out of foul trouble.
Yeah, that is a really good point. I mean, such a weapon defensively. Came in to today with 239 career blocks, but that doesn't count the ones she's altered. It doesn't count the times that, I mean, guards just don't even go in there because of her presence.
And keep in mind, as Walker misses the first, she's the team leader at more than 2 blocks per game, but she's only playing on average less than 19 minutes in contest. So you spread that out over 40, she's getting close to 5 blocks a contest.
Well, you look back at the last, what, 4 games, and this is at the highest level of competition in college basketball. She's had 3 or more blocks in each of the last 4 games. Or had at least 3, and 6 of those against TCU, who has Sedona Prince. and she did a great job. Prince was dominant in the first half offensively. Second half, she neutralized her. You can't stop Prince, but she did neutralize her somewhat the second half with that length and that defense, and that allowed Oklahoma State to have that comeback.
Well, and showed some real capability guarding on the perimeter too, because Prince is capable of getting out there and shooting. Gray got too far next to the up the baseline there. That's broken up, taken away. Gray able to corral it. And got the friendly roll.
So just one of those days. I mean, that same shot for K-State would have bounced a different direction.
It might have gone over the backboard.
Yeah.
There's an open look. And Glenn buries the triple. Memory serves, she hit the first 3 of the game, the first shot of the game.
It was, yeah, wide open off the tip. And you thought, oh, no, that's not what you want to do if you're Oklahoma State. You don't give Glenn or Poindexter wide open looks. But since that time, that's exactly what Oklahoma State's defense has done, not giving those 2 looks out on the perimeter.
Our esteemed statistician Brooks Manzer has just handed me a note. Staley Hurd has registered her 9th double-double of the season. 16 points, 10 boards. Did we just have a technical foul? We sure did. To be honest, I didn't see what happened, but some frustration, it would seem, from Gisela Sanchez, the junior out of Barcelona, transferred in from Arizona. And it's been a frustrating game for Kansas State as a whole.
Yeah, Sanchez was talking right, but she went by the official. I mean, obviously she was asking for it right there. But I like what Jeff Mittie did. Sanchez plays with emotion, and I think is a really good piece for them. And you look back at that TCU game, she hit a 3 in the second half, which really was a big 3.
Coach said maybe the shot of the game.
Yeah, and brought Prince, aware of her ability to do that. So plays with a great motor, intense, but I love him taking her aside. He didn't dress her down by yelling at her right there in front of the entire building, but just basically said, hey, you can't do that. Probably shared some words of wisdom and allowed her to go to the bench in a good way. That's good coaching. That's a veteran coach right there, understands how to manage his players.
Hurd with the bucket on one end, the flyby on the other end, and now a foul on a rebound attempt here. They called that on Glenn. That's her 4th. I think Wooten thought it was on her, and so she had kind of reacted. Avoided any further infractions, though. Hurd in the middle. Oh, tough finish. If Micah Gray can find one more point, oh, that's a tough look from the corner for Poindexter. High school teammates trading shots again. But if Gray can score one more, the Cowgirls will have 3 with 20 or more in the game. Wooten no good from the mid-range. Kansas State running the floor, a wide open look for Glenn. 6 minutes to go. And this crowd came out to enjoy some basketball today. Now it's just kind of hanging out, waiting for the final buzzer to celebrate the victory. Gray came up with it. Found Heward wide open initially, but mishandled it a little bit. Pinball around again. Heward can't finish that one. Igorevba has her shot blocked out of bounds. Stacey Jones checking in, I believe, for the first time today. Smith into the contest as well. Jones hasn't been getting as many minutes recently, but she's been a spark plug at times for this team.
No, she's definitely gives him some versatility at that 5 position. Makes him more quick and athletic.
Wildcats in transition again. Glenn, an open look. Got it. Glenn up to 13 points. 10 of those have come here in the second half. Hurd right down Broadway. And a foul call. Asi checks back in. Oklahoma State still up 36, but it ain't nothing run right now for Kansas State. See if Hurd can stop that, but this is the front end. Oklahoma State, as well as they've done things today, still struggling a little bit from the free throw line.
Yep.
Down around 50%. If you're Kansas State here, you've been able to push the pace a little bit, get out in transition. What are you wanting to see on the offensive end? Because you can't just be chucking everything up in the first few seconds.
No, I think you just have to continue to try to play with toughness. Finish the half 3 balls. But Oklahoma State's done a good job defensively. They've been great offensively. Defensively has been good. Sundell's a volume shooter. Poindexter and Glenn have made 5 of 11 from 3, but the rest of K-State 2 of 15 from long range. So that protecting the 3-point shot has definitely been very good for J.C. Hoyt's ball club.
Hurd too strong, but Wooten the offensive rebound. The Cowgirls can run more time off the clock. Working against the zone. Wooten able to keep it in bounds. Asi from way out there. No, but Wooten with the offensive rebound and the putback.
Now Wooten right there following the flight of the ball. You could see her, she came in from the perimeter.
Runner off the mark. And the putback is there, though. Lester's first bucket of the game. To the corner, Asi. Too strong on that one. Career high 8 3-pointers made for Annegret Asi today. Sides lets it fly and hits it.
Yeah, speaking of shooters, boy, when you throw Poindexter, Glenn, and Sides out there, I mean, those are elite shooters, all 42% or better on the year. And Sides a player that can have big games off the bench. Arizona State 11, Iowa State at home 17, had 14 the other day in Lawrence.
I'll see you off the mark again. Even with missing 3 in a row here, she's still shooting the ball really well today. 8 of 12. Sundell with a little mid-range jump.
Yeah, that's a look that she hadn't gotten a ton today. I mean, she's great at getting to that position. One of the things that has helped, again, Oklahoma State is physical on the perimeter defensively. You've had Hurd on Sundell a lot tonight, and has not allowed her to get, inside that Big 12 logo very often.
She can create from in there as well. Turning the corner, Poindexter too strong. Crowd sensing a little bit of a swale in the energy in the arena there. Pick it back up. 10 to shoot now for Oklahoma State. Smith. Short jumper, no. Wildcats want to run. Sundell almost carried it. Kick out Poindexter. Too strong. And the Cowgirls content to run more clock. Oh, smart play there by Stanley Hurd to make sure she had established herself in the front court before catching that ball. Cowgirl fans rising to their feet with more than a minute to go as the clock ticks down on a second victory over a top 10 team at home this season. Lester from the elbow, a foul.
Second team foul.
Riley Langerman up to check in for Oklahoma State as Jones and Smith will come to the bench. Nagasa in as well. And Staley Hurd will get a breather, presumably for the rest of the contest, as she gets a hug from J.C. Hoyt.
Yeah, I think with a minute one left, I think she wanted to get Hurd out of there quicker, but so much time went off without a dead ball situation. But another great performance from Hurd.
1 minute to play, less than 1 minute remaining.
The fans that weren't on their feet yet are now as we go under a minute to go. The freshman Jaden Wooten dribbling in the half-court circle. Attacks, deflected out of bounds. 6 to shoot for Oklahoma State.
Well, it was a tremendous performance here today at both ends of the floor. And you kind of wondered, you know, the sickness was going through Oklahoma State's ball club like it has most teams around the country here recently. Yesterday was the first day that they had their entire squad together. And a couple players, yesterday was the first day they practiced this week. So, you know, with that great start, you know, you and I think kind of sat here in the back of our minds wondering, was this sustainable? Were they, you know, probably not as in good a shape as they were 4 or 5 days ago when you come off a sickness, but you would not have known it.
No, and the flip side of that is the bye weeks end, I think, next week in the league. So everyone will have cycled through having that midweek game off or having a week between games. Oklahoma State was one of the last teams to get that, and kind of unfortunate that you had the flu, although you can maybe argue that it's fortunate. If you're going to get it, you might as well get it that week.
I think, you know, a lot of teams in that week, they'll want to work on some big picture things in those couple of days. But yes, I think if they'd have played midweek, say on Wednesday, they would have been down a couple of players.
Shot clock is off, and Oklahoma State, if nothing else happens in the next 12 seconds, will match its largest win over a ranked team in school history. They beat number 16 USC by 30. Back in 1995, they matched that score against the top 10 Kansas State Wildcats here today.
And more importantly,